This is going to be a quick one. Okay, so if you are the one that requested for this video, please comment on the comment section. Let me know that you've seen it, because I might forget to chat you up on WhatsApp. Then if you have, and for those of us asking for to join the master class, please, I have a master class running currently, and I can't, it's just, I don't know, I can't add extra, please, so that I won't break down. But just in case, if you have any by the end of this year, please, because I like doing my things very well, okay, the people that are going to be passing out, they will pass out well, okay. So pending when I take in a new master class, okay, if you have any style that is hard for you, that someone gave you, or you want to try out and you don't know how to go about it, please chat me up on WhatsApp. Just send the picture, don't chat, because you might chat and I will not have time to reply. Please, I get a lot of messages on my WhatsApp, and most times it's not as if people think that you are rude, but you can't, you can't just answer everything. So please, if you send me a message on WhatsApp, don't chat, just send me picture. If any picture I get on my WhatsApp, I know it's for illustration, send it on 090-332-34908, and I will be there to illustrate for you. So we are going right into this tutorial, and we are going to be illustrating on this particular Bubu gown. Okay, so as you can see, the Bubu gown, it's just a simple Bubu gown. The only difference they added to it was the pleating at the down front part of the Bubu gown, and then the elastic. And know it very well that it was tacked. There's a joining from behind and in front of the Bubu gown. Let's go right into this tutorial, and we are going to be plotting our Bubu gown. I used to tell people, and I will say, when you want to plot your Bubu gown, some people will just measure straight from shoulder. I don't like doing it that way. Okay, I like measuring my sleeve separately, my shoulder separately. If you do it, if a client points for you and say, this is where I want my sleeve to end, if you do this shoulder to sleeve, if you are not really a good fashion designer, you might make mistake. You might end up sewing something that, okay, it will go up, and simply because it has gone up by 2 inches or 1 inch is enough for your client to say, I'm not taking it. When I go start to speak English. So measure your shoulder, measure your sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to be inputting my borderline now. Now I'm going to mark my shoulder. This is my shoulder, which is 8 inches. Okay, my shoulder, which is 8 inches. I want my sleeve, you can see that sleeve is very long, so I want mine to be 21 inches. I will measure my 21 inches, and this is my 21 inches right here. Okay, now the yards of fabric that you will need for this tutorial is going to be determined by this. Most of this fabric that you are seeing comes by 60. Okay, tell them you want the material by 60, so it comes by 60, so you don't have any problem with the length of the Bubu gown, okay, because except if the person is short, but for an average size lady, okay, the length is always 60 inches, so that it will touch the floor, it will be full. Let me tell you one thing about Bubu gown. If your Bubu gown is hanging, it might not be fine. If waiting go make and they see your Bubu gown back of leg for Bubu gown, except for this style that is pleated up, we all know it was pleated up, but waiting go make them go they see back of your leg for your Bubu gown, it will not be found fine. Okay, so 60 is an average for every woman. Always make your Bubu gown, even if your client tells you, I don't want to make the flow for ground, just tell the person, okay, it's better for you to reduce the length than that is hanging. If it's hanging, no matter how beautiful that cloth is, it won't be fine. Okay, so the number of yards you are going to be using for this fabric is going to be determined by this shoulder to sleeve. Okay, so shoulder to sleeve, mine is 8 inches, my shoulder is 8 inches, then the sleeve is 21 inches, so 8 plus 21, that is 29 inches. Okay, and you know this is on fold like this, so 29 plus 29, you are going to be getting 54 inches. And this, you know, this is just for the front, so for the back too is 54 inches, so you are going to be having a total of 108 inches. Okay, 108 inches. Then you are going to be dividing it by 36. You are going to be getting around 3 to 4 yards. okay, because you know that 36 inches is 1 yard, okay. So that is how you are going to calculate it, so that you know the exact amount. Make it 4 yards, the remaining you can use for head tie, okay. So now we'll go right into this tutorial. Now as you can see the neckline, this neckline is 4 inches in the front width, okay. For the back of the gown, okay, you can just come down by 0.75, that's all. You don't need to really, and it doesn't have this particular style, there's no need of joining at the back. It doesn't have a center line at the back because it's not going to be having a sleeve. The front opening, the front is wide enough for your head to pass, okay. So come down by 0.75 for the back neckline, okay, the back neck depth. Now for the front, as you can see, it's way revealing. It depends on you. Some people will tell you, I don't want it to be revealing. If you don't want it to be revealing too much, 5 inches is okay. But if you want it to go deep the way this one is, make it 8 inches. You understand? You make it 8 inches. So for this one, I'm going to be using 8 inches, or to be on the safer side, make it 7 inches, but I will go for 8 inches for this particular one. So 8 inches neckline depth, okay, and then the wideness is 4 inches, like I've said, okay. So you are going to be connecting it. Now if you look at that style very well, it wants to be a V shape, but it's not really V. So know it that is curving, but it's not a U shape, but it's a little bit curving, okay. Just make it to curve that way. Now we are done with the neckline. Now we don't have anything to do with the armhole depth, okay. Now we'll come to the sleeve opening. Now for this sleeve opening that I'm seeing here, okay, for this sleeve opening that I'm seeing here, 12 inches is okay. You can make it 10 inches, okay. So I'm going to be marking my 12 inches, but before I mark my 12 inches, I have to come down. Remember I told you our shoulder is not slanting, it's not straight. So if you want anything you are sewing to slip on your body, better don't just leave this shoulder straight like this. Just bring it down. You can bring it down by 1 inch, you can bring it down by 1.5 inch. I'll be bringing down my own by 1.5 inch, okay. So I'm going to connect it to this. Normally there's a 3 by inch standard you are going to measure here, okay. Measure that 3 by inch standard on this shoulder, because that's what you are going to use to connect this 1.5, okay. You will ignore this point when you are connecting this line, take it into that one. Do you understand? So you will now come and measure your, first of all, let's measure our sleeve gown length, and our gown length is 60 inches, which is somewhere around here, okay. And I will roll my line so that to guide me, okay. So my sleeve opening is 12 inches. I come down by 12 inches here. Now when you get to that 12 inches, you are going to be coming in by 2 inches if you like, or just 1 inch, okay. You can make it 1.5. Let your discretion guide you. Then you are going to come straight down. But now when you are coming down for this particular style, when you are coming down, don't come down. If you look at that style very well, it wants to look like a cow kaftan, okay. It wants to look like a cow kaftan. And if you look at the back went down to that 60 inches. But if you look at it very well, it wants to look like a cow kaftan. So you are going to be, if this place, measure from here to here, okay. For the sleeve opening, measure from here to here. Whatever you got, remove 2 or 3 inches from it, okay. Remove 2 or 3 inches from it. So whatever I got here, I'm going to be removing 2 or 3 inches from it, and then I'm going to be getting something like this, okay. Now why I don't want to remove too much is, yeah, if you say you want to make it normal cow kaftan, okay, which if you get to this place, you are going to be using your hip measurement divided by 4 plus maybe like some inches. If you do it that way, you won't be able to pull it up. Remember that there's a pleat in front. You won't be able to pull it up. If you pull it up, you can't walk again. So whatever happened at this down part is very free, okay. It's very free, so that you can be able to pleat up. Now when you pleat up, the back will now come to the front the way you are seeing it, Okay, when you pleat up, the back will now come to the front a little. But if you make it that this side is going to be tight, you can't pleat up that much. Okay, so now I will connect my sleeve opening like so. Can you see? Okay, now coming to that elastic that is in front, if you like, run trimming on that elastic. But first of all, before you are going to run that trimming, we will be needing our under bust and we will be needing our waistline. We don't actually need our bust line, but we need our under bust. My under bust is 13 inches. Okay, my waistline is 16 inches. Okay, can you see? My waistline is 16 inches, and then again, because of the pleat, I will be needing my I'll be needing my hip line, okay, and my knee line. Watch what I'm doing very well, because what I like doing is when I'm cutting a cloth and a customer shows me a cloth, I will definitely try everything possible to make sure that I get exactly the design that I was shown. Study it. If possible, before you cut on this fabric, your client's fabric, please cut it on a pieces of cloth like what I'm going to be doing now, and make sure you get it properly before you transfer to your fabric. Now if you try it and however it is, please let us know. Then for my students that are always telling me thank you, if there's anything you made, please post it. I'm going to post it here for you people that are not on the master class, so as to encourage other people. Even if you made a mistake, don't worry, just video it and post it for me. Okay, send it to my WhatsApp 09033234908, because I want to post it and let it be an encouragement. Do not be scared. You see those clothes you made that you made mistake, please post it for me. I want to see them. Post it on my WhatsApp page. I want to see them. Okay, so this is my under bust, this is my waistline, and this is my hip line. Now on this under bust, if you look at that design very well, you see that that is where the elastic is. Okay, but let me tell you the truth, if you make mistake and put your elastic on this under bust, it will gather this thing and put it on top of your bust, and it will be shapeless. Okay, it will be shapeless. So what you are going to do is come down to the waistline, but not really the waistline. Choose in between of halfway from the under bust to the waistline, and my halfway from under bust to the waistline is this line. Let me label it. This is so choose between this line and this under bust and this waist. That's where you are going to put your line. So this is where you are going to run your elastic. But then before you run your elastic, let me tell you something. Okay, if you want to add rope to a kaftan, make it from on this particular line here. Calculate your bust span and put it here. My bust span is 4 inches. I will mark it here. This is where you are supposed to add your rope. For those people that used to, for that rope that you see that they used to attach from inside and tie behind to give a little bit of figure to your bubu gown, this is where to add it. Your bust span is where you are going to attach that rope if you want your gown to be beautiful. But now, because it's elastic, whatever we are going to be adding here, because it's elastic, we are adding to this particular one, and we want it to have shape the way this one had shape. You can see that it went right round, but it ended by the side. Okay, it ended by the side. This particular elastic ended by the side. Now whatever you are going to be adding, mixing this elastic, make it ×2. Measure from here to here ×2. That is the area the elastic is going to cover. Do you understand? Measure from here to here. This is the side. Measure your under bust now divided by 4. Don't add allowance. Whatever you get is somewhere around here. Okay, now when attaching that elastic, know it that this, for you to get that gathering, you must extend this length ×2. If this is 6 inches, it should be 6 inches ×2, which is 12, which is somewhere around here. That's where your elastic will end. Okay, that is where your elastic will end, so that it can be able to form like this and gather like this. Okay, now when you want to attach your elastic, the elastic you are going to use is going to be half of from here to here, which is 6 inches that we measured, right? That means your elastic should be 3 inches. So as you are stitching from here to here, you keep extending that elastic. You know how to fix elastic. If you don't know how to fix elastic, please just let me know. But the elastic you are going to be using is going to be half of from here to here, 6 inches divided by 3. That's what you are going to be using. Now the space where you are going to sew that elastic on should be from here to here, which is 12 inches. Now we are going to be cutting out. Now I want to use this fabric to cut out this. Any fabric that you are supposed to use is a fabric that is supposed to drape. Don't use a fabric that will go and stand. If it is duchess, let it be the soft duchess, that as you are pleating, as you are holding, is staying the way you want it, not the one that when you place it, it will puff up and stand. Okay, even more than the person pleated his own, and you'll be fine. Okay, now I've marked it. Okay, now so I've used our pattern to cut out on the fabric, right? And I've marked my underbust, hip line, and this is my knee line. Don't worry about the fabric, it's very short, but we are going to, it's just for you to see. Now I've shown you how to measure where to put elastic. So our elastic of 6 inches is going to be running from here to here. That is what is going to gather this fabric like this. Okay, now we are done with that. You now turn it to the front. Please make sure that the markings at the front, you also mark it in front here to allow us for the pleating. We are now going to work on the pleating. Right now you will pick the center of this, notch it. Okay, this is the center. You will pick this center this way. Okay, now when you pick this center, you stitch it like, cover this stitch. Okay, stitch it like 3 inches or anyhow you are comfortable with the remaining of this one. Now you stitch it. Now when you stitch it, you will now, if it's stitched this way, is now stitched, you will twist it so that you hide that hemline. Now this is the center, right? We are working with this. Now you are going to measure the bust span, and my bust span is 4 inches. 4 inches is somewhere around here. You will mark it because that is where you are going to be placing the tip of this hemline. Okay, we are going to be picking this hemline. You will mark your bust span somewhere around here. Okay, that is where they put their own. So if you want to do exactly what they did, know it that where they fixed whatever they are going to take from here now is between the knee line and the hip line. Between the knee line and the hip line. Now look at what you are going to do. You pick this center this way. If you pick this center, now you stitch either 4 inches or 5 inches. Okay, let me make it this way so that it will face the camera. Now you will pick this center. Now you will stitch here either 4 inches or anyhow you are comfortable with this place. Okay, stitch it until you are comfortable. Now you are going to be twisting it. Twist it to hide that hemline. Twist it to hide that hemline, and you take that edge, hold that edge, and take it to that point you just measured. Okay, that is between the knee line and the hip line. It did not get to the hip line, it stopped somewhere between the knee line and the hip line. If you look at that picture very well, okay, you can see. So you see they twisted it and they placed it there. Now if you want to go extra mile with your own, you can attach a fancy button here to pin it down. But if you want to do it exactly the way they did it on the picture, you turn to the back, hold it and turn to the back. Okay, you hold it this way and you tack it and tack it and tack it and hold it. Okay, just that place, and then you are going to get something like this. Okay, so that tacking you tacked at the back was what gave that ribbon like dots around this area. Okay, so by the time you do yours, you will find out that yours will be finer. Just know it that you will pick the center. Mark where you are going to place it, which is halfway between the knee line and the hip line. Look at the picture, halfway between the knee line and the hip line. Okay, you pick this center. Okay, you stitch it, stitch like 4 inches so that it will stay. Okay, now after stitching it, you twist it to hide that hemline. If you stitch it, it will obey you. Okay, so that you won't be gathering 2 layers at the same time, it will form one. Now you are going to twist it this way and take it to that point between the hip line and the knee line. You tack it there. If you want to go extra mile, use a fancy button to tack your own. If not, it's okay like this. Just turn the back and tack it from the back. If you tack it from the back, okay, if you tack it from the back, you are going to get something like this. Okay, you are going to get something looking like this there. Okay, and that is all they did. Use bias to turn this place, or you can use facing. If not, use a matching bias. Turn the sleeve opening, turn the remaining part of the hemline, join your front and your back, and your gown is ready. See you guys in my next video. Let my testimony start coming in. I want to know that I'm doing a good job. Love you loads.